Shawty do it like this, do it like that. Do it like this, shawty do it like that. Come on, do it like this, do it like that. Do it like this, shawty do it like that.
The exercises in this strong and stable Swiss ball weight training program range from beginner to extremely advanced. Progress very slowly, doing only the exercises that you're very comfortable with. I highly recommend that you master the exercises in my Swiss ball training for athletes videos before you begin this program, as they serve as a good foundation to give you the skill that you need on a Swiss ball before adding free weights to your program. Before beginning the strong and stable exercise program, always clear the floor, checking carefully for sharp objects or anything that could pierce the ball. Stay clear of machines and furniture. You can fall off the ball and hurt yourself by hitting a machine or a piece of furniture, and you may conk yourself in the head. Always use a spotter. When you're doing these exercises, it's imperative that you have a spotter to help you stay on the ball and to help you maintain good technique. The exercises in the strong and stable Swiss ball weight training programs serve as an indicator of what is possible. They are by no means a prescription, so only do what you're able to do safely and carefully. The last thing you want is to have a ball explode on you while you've got a dumbbell in your hand or you're laying on your back. No accidents, safe training. After 14 years of orthopedic rehabilitation and training athletes, workers, and injured people of all types, I have developed the Strong and Stable program. The Strong and Stable program comes after years of extensive research and experience in the field of rehabilitation and resistance training. As you know, the machine era is upon us. The machine era was ushered in by large manufacturing companies with the sole intent of not only selling exercise equipment, but getting large amounts of people in and out of the facilities. These programs are far inferior to free weight training and Swiss ball training type programs, and are often directed by inexperienced attendants. To appreciate why my strong and stable programs really work, you must look carefully at our developmental history. For 4 million years we survived in the wilderness. No shoe inserts, no machines, without even electricity. We lived a ground-based life, hunting, cooking, eating, sleeping, and harvesting off the land. To survive in this environment, we had to be proficient at what I call primal movement patterns, which are squatting, lunging, bending, pushing, pulling, and twisting, because all other movements are one or a combination of these movements. The machine-based programs do not support primal movement patterns. It is essential in order to improve, maintain the health and function of the musculoskeletal system that you be proficient at primal movement patterns. My strong and stable programs go after those primal movement patterns, improve your ability to stabilize your joints, your ability to function, and bring you up to our primal standard and even exceed primal standard. This strong and stable program will improve the balance of your musculoskeletal system, posture, improve joint function, and prevent orthopedic injury. To position yourself for the pec fly from a decline position, place the ball about mid-trunk position. Make sure you have a very significant anchor on the feet. I recommend over 2 times the weight that is in your hands as an anchor on the feet. Here you see he's got 15-pound dumbbells in his hands and 75-pound dumbbells on each foot. This is very, very important for safety in the gym. Make sure the area is clear. Keep the tongue on the roof of the mouth to stabilize the neck. Drop back over the ball into the decline position and perform the pec fly as you would on a decline bench. It's very important to notice that he's got his head in alignment with his spine. He's not letting the head drop back, and he's not picking the head up. The tongue is on the roof of the mouth to stabilize the neck. To perform the pec fly from the flat bench position, he simply rolls forward until he's in the flat bench position, keeping the abdominal wall activated by bringing the belly button towards the spine and the hips up. And then You can go right from the flat bench position to the incline bench position by going down into a partial squat. It's very important to maintain some arch in your back to keep pressure going down through the ball. If you round your spine forward, the ball can shoot out. It's extremely important to have a spotter behind the ball to protect you from having the ball shoot out. Now the decline, flat, and incline fly can all be performed in an isolated fashion, in other words, one set of each, or a specific workout on each, or you can couple them together, starting from the incline, going to the flat, going to the decline, or you can go decline, flat, incline, and get a complete workout for all the muscles involved, because as you change body position, you change motor unit recruitment. If you go from decline to flat to incline, you will completely exhaust all the relevant muscles. Now we will watch Jesse go from incline to flat to decline. It's also very important to pay careful attention to the range of motion of the shoulder joint. In my gym instructor videos series, Volume 2, Pushing and Pressing Exercises, I show you how to accurately assess the range of motion for the shoulder joint so that people do not injure their shoulder joints during the bench press or fly exercise. To finish the exercise, go down into the incline position and carefully lower the weights down to the floor. The pec fly on the Swiss ball can be very effectively performed with Hoist multi-position cable column system. Jesse will demonstrate how to use this piece of equipment with the pec fly on the Swiss ball going from an incline to a flat to a decline position. Once again, just like with the dumbbells, make sure you're properly anchored, make sure you have a good spotter. You'll notice that as Jesse comes up, he brings his wrists together, which increases the activation of the pectoralis muscles. This is a very effective tip I learned from strength and conditioning coach Charles Poliquin. To perform the dumbbell bench press, simply roll down the ball, bring the arms out into the bench press position, shoulders on the ball, head on the ball, hips up to perform the flat bench type position. The incline bench press can be repeated on the ball, dropping the hips once again into the bottom position, being very careful to not let the ball shoot out from under you. Always use a spotter if you're not sure of the surface that you're on. To perform a load shifting technique, once again you can start in the incline position, and as you fatigue, progressively raise the hips toward the flat bench position, which will switch the muscle fibers being recruited to perform the exercise. Now you can also perform the exercise going from a flat to an incline position. An important precaution is that as you drop into the incline position, keep some arch in your back, pushing the load down through the ball instead of pushing the ball away from you, or the ball can shoot out from underneath your body. Using Hoist multi-position cable column systems, you can perform a cable bench press on the Swiss ball. You can see Jesse has the handle in each hand. He's properly positioned on the ball, and I'm going to spot him. He'll start by doing the incline cable bench press, and then he'll go to the flat and then to the decline. Once again, use the ball as a range of motion limiter. If you feel your triceps touching the ball, that means that you've gone well into the range of motion that is normal for the shoulder, and you should not try to go any further. By performing the exercise in multiple positions like this, it will completely fatigue the chest and anterior deltoid musculature, making it an excellent all-around exercise. Once again, as the individual drops into that inclined position, it's very important to have a spotter here to keep the ball from squirting out. It's also important that the athlete or the person lifting the weights keep some arch in their back to keep the pressure down through the ball, not projecting the ball backwards. Another excellent exercise is called the fly to bench. What you do is you perform the fly exercise until you begin to fatigue. At that point, you switch to the bench press grip. Then you prolong the set with the bench press grip position, because switching the muscle fibers will give you a little bit more energy, allowing you to continue. Now I'd like to show you how the Swiss ball can be integrated with a straight bar bench press. This exercise is much harder than it looks. I want you to pay very close attention. This is an advanced exercise. Do not try it until you're very comfortable on the Swiss ball doing heavy dumbbell bench presses. You should be competent with at least 65 pounds for a dumbbell bench press on the ball before you attempt doing this exercise, because the instability in the ball feels like the weights are going to move all over the place, and you can strain a rotator cuff, hurt a shoulder, have a collision in the gym. You must, I repeat, you must have a spotter with you at all times when you're doing Swiss ball bench press exercises, both to help you rack and unrack the weight and to protect the ball from shooting out from behind you. Additionally, make sure the area is clean and never use anything but a Sissel ABS ball. We are using a relatively light weight here, but I've seen men do this with 2.5, 3 plates a side, which puts tremendous force through the ball. Now, to position yourself properly under the bar, go ahead and grab the bar and roll back so that your clavicles and shoulders are in line with the bar. You cannot accept the weight in the traditional bench press style with the eyes under the bar, or it'll pull you forward and you'll fall off the ball. So you roll forward till the clavicles are underneath the bar. At that time, your spotter helps you lift the bar. Ready? Good. Now you roll back till you're in a normal bench press position with your head positioned on the ball. And bench, hips up. Now I only like people to bench till the deltoids or the top of the triceps touch the ball, so it works as a feedback mechanism. Now you can stop right there, drop your pelvis down into the inclined bench position. One more. Hips up. Now you're going to roll the ball back and rack it. Excellent. Watch the head. The around the world exercise is performed from this position on the ball. Hands together in the bench press position. Raise the arms into flexion over the head until your arms are level with your body. Bring the arms around the world, never letting your arm drop below the plane of your body or it will be hard on the shoulder. Bring the dumbbells together and squeeze to activate the pectoralis muscles and then up over the top again. This would be relative to the flat bench position that you see Jesse performing in right now. To perform the exercise from the incline position, start with the hips down low toward the ground, body in an incline position. Once again, be careful not to drop the shoulder too far so you do not injure the shoulder joint. Have a look at how using my multi-angle cable system, you can perform a flying circle for the chest muscles with a Swiss ball. Hips up now. Wrists together. To increase the challenge, simply drop one handle. Throw away your pec fly machine. You don't need a pec fly machine to build those pecs. Just get on two balls, up on your toes. Stabilize, suck that belly button in toward the spine, hold that lumbar spine in a neutral position, and out those arms go till they're level with the ground, and then back you come. If your spine starts to extend or drop into an arch, stop. That means your stabilizers are cooked. To make the exercise more challenging, simply elevate the feet. In the gym, you'll have to use a partner to hold onto your feet. You can do this off the top end of a decline bench. Now, once you've mastered the pec fly on two balls, as we showed just before this exercise, you can progress the exercise into a unilateral load with a dumbbell in the opposite hand. Now, I must warn you, this exercise is very hard. It puts a lot of rotational stress through the core. So you need to warm up your body in rotational movement patterns, doing some of the rotational exercises from my Swiss Ball for Athletes video, and preparing yourself so you don't tear any muscles or strain anything. Now, what you need to do the exercise is get your legs up on top of a bench. Put your forearm on the ball. Keep your thumb pointing up. Stabilize by opening the legs a little bit. From here, draw your belly button up toward the spine to activate the deep abdominal wall. Pick your dumbbell up, hold it, and from here you just let the ball come out and back. Do not drop down any further than the point at which your shoulder touches the ball. Keep your shoulders parallel to the floor at all times. The hoist cable column can be effectively used to perform a one-arm chest lateral on the Swiss ball. This is an advanced challenging exercise because, as you'll see, when Jesse pulls that weight laterally across his body, he does not have a counterweight in the opposite hand, which means that he must stabilize with the ipsilateral or the same side leg and hip, and then he must use his oblique muscles heavily to keep him from being pulled off the ball. Once again, make sure that you're properly anchored or you will fall off the ball and there will be a loud thump in the gym. Now I'd like to show you how to do a load shifting technique. This is a technique I learned from Jerry Telly, who, by the way, has a new video coming out on advanced bodybuilding techniques. These are techniques that most people have never seen before. Very advanced, very highly effective techniques. Watch how you can shift the load with this exercise to more thoroughly exhaust the pectoralis muscles. Now what I want you to notice here is that when there is a 90-degree angle between the cable and the working extremity, that is the point of maximum loading. So as Jesse changes his position on the ball, as he moves laterally over the ball, the point that he loads that muscle changes. Now watch his arm. We'll hold the 90-degree angle, and as he rolls towards me, you see now the point of maximal loading is right. You're looking for that 90-degree angle here. So as he comes closer and closer to the cable, he's going to have to change the position that he gets maximal loading in. In other words, by changing the position of the body on the ball, you change the position of maximal load through the range of motion. So let's watch Jesse as he starts facing the machine, working the muscle, and as he fatigues, he rolls laterally on the ball, which will switch the point in the length force curvature that he reaches maximal load. Once again, you must have some good solid anchors to stabilize as you shift the load on the ball. Here, once again, the ball serves as a stop mechanism to let you know when you've reached full range of motion in the shoulder. Now, what I want you to do, Jesse, is just stop when you got a 90-degree angle on that cable, which is right now. Now you can see that he's getting a maximal load in quite a stretched position, where he gets a maximal load in a shortened position on the other side of the ball. A very challenging and very excellent exercise. To perform the reverse hyperextension, start by placing the ball under the pelvis at the beginner or the level 1 level. Place a small dumbbell in the feet. Make sure you have enough balance to stay on top of the ball while extending the hips. When you raise the legs in the air, do not go so high that it jams the joints in the back. Once you get the legs in line with the torso, that is adequate range of motion. Drop the legs until the feet or the weight touches the ground. To increase the resistance, bring the ball closer to the shoulders, which will require that you hold on to anchor weights. Your anchor weight should at least double the weight that you're holding between your feet. With the ball up closer to the shoulders, extend the hips and perform the exercise in the same manner. Before adding additional weight to the feet, it is a good idea to increase the length of the lever arm by bringing the ball toward the shoulders. To perform the back extension exercise, simply lay across the ball. For the beginner level, start with the ball closer to your shoulders. Make sure you're balanced on the ball adequately so that when you come up with the weight, you don't flip forward. Now, as you'll see, Carl will come up into an extension position, not jamming the joints of the back, and then dropping down over the ball, allowing your back to round. And up. Anybody with a history of back problem should not do this exercise letting their back round. Down she goes, and up. Now Penny will demonstrate how to manipulate the position of the load during the back extension exercise. Performing the exercise in this manner will more completely strengthen the back and hip extensor musculature. Jesse and Paul will now demonstrate some advanced techniques which incorporate extension and rotation. Now, to perform the deadlift on the Swiss ball with dumbbells, very carefully place the dumbbells on the ball, rolling forward slowly, remembering that as you roll forward, the dumbbells are going to try to pull you over the ball. So as you go forward on the ball, your butt must drop back to counterbalance the dumbbells, like so. Up on the ball, carefully bringing the weights back and up. From here, down as though you were doing a deadlift, keeping the arch in your low back, coming up. And down, and up. Down, and up. Down, and up. It's a lot harder than I'm making it look, trust me. So make sure that you're very, very proficient at doing kneeling exercises on the ball before you attempt this exercise. Now you can perform a kneeling deadlift exercise off the ball using a cable column system. Place your knees against the ball, and with your hands on the handle, put your hands on the ball, slowly rolling forward. Now once you get up on top of the ball, it's best to go ahead and come forward slightly. From here, you just go up and down into the deadlift position, letting your butt drop back. Up and down into the deadlift position. Up. As you move, you have to adjust your center of gravity to match the change in load and the change in your joint mechanics. This is a quasi-deadlift, quasi-bent over row. Either way, it's an excellent exercise to improve balance, stabilization, and strength in the hip and back extensors. To perform the chin-up, place the ball between your hamstrings and your heels. As you perform the chin-up, do not flex the hips. Good. Now using the hoist multi-position cable column, you can perform the reverse wood chop from the Swiss ball. First, perform the exercise with the pelvis fixed, starting with the cable just outside your right leg as shown here if you're going to pull to the left. What you'll see here is Penny will pull up and across diagonally. Notice that the hand she's pulling toward, the hand from the side that she's pulling toward, goes on the cable first and the other one comes on afterwards. Now she's going to pull up and across. It's very important that she extends her thoracic spine or her middle back at the top. You should not do this with a rounded back position. She's keeping a fixed pelvis to isolate the exercise to the abdominal and back musculature. We'll watch her do 3 reps with a fixed pelvis, and then she will start integrating movement of the pelvis with the ball, doing a weight shift, just as though you were winding up for a golf swing or to swing a hockey stick, etc. Once you've mastered the exercise with a weight shift, try to perform the exercise off the knees. Make sure you're ready for this exercise, being able to balance on the ball with no weight before you attempt the exercise. It's very important to remember that as the weight shifts, your center of gravity in your body changes position, which requires constant and immediate changes in the position of the ball under your body. This is a very advanced exercise. The reverse wood chop can be effectively performed from the kneeling position. This is an advanced exercise, so make sure you're very good at doing kneeling exercise on the ball before you even attempt the exercise. Make sure the area is clear. Remember that when you go to get on the ball, the load is going to try to pull you toward the cable column. So start with a light load. Take the hand that's holding the cable, put it on the ball to stabilize the ball and yourself, your body, slowly getting up on top of the knees, counterbalancing against the pull of that cable. Now, as you come up, use your torso weight against the cable. The hand that you're pulling toward goes on the cable, underhand, other hand, overhand. From here, up and across. Let's take a look at a few more options for strengthening the lats and the core musculature on the Swiss ball. Notice that Terry is maintaining a good neutral alignment of the spine. Using the split stance will allow you to lift more weight for those of you that are performing hardcore athletic training type lifts and bodybuilding type lifts. If you bring the back leg forward into the traditional seated stance, you may have to lower the weight, as you will become more unstable. It is very important to keep the belly button drawn toward the spine to stabilize the spinal column and not have hyperextension of the back as you reach maximal load, which is when there's a 90-degree angle between the cable and the working extremity. Down, right here. The Swiss ball can be effectively used to do swimming and surfing type exercises with my new triple cross system. If you have a bilateral cable stack, you can also perform these type of exercises. The Swiss ball makes the exercise more unstable and more realistic to surfboard, sailboard, and swim type activities. The exercise can be done with bilateral arm action, as you see Paul doing here, or you can do single arm action. And for improved recruitment of the core musculature, you can go ahead and just get rid of one handle and work one hand at a time. Now, he's going to have to really stabilize on the ball against the lateral forces created by this one-arm action, making it a much tougher exercise. With all these Swiss ball exercises, anytime you drop one handle or one dumbbell, you're putting an asymmetrical load through the body, which will significantly increase the recruitment of the core musculature. So you can consider dropping one weight on any exercise, an advanced level of the exercise. From the flat bench position, we can roll over the ball into a decline bench position. Once again, you must have good solid anchors to perform this decline lat pullover, or it will pull you over. Now, the exercise can be performed by shifting the body from an incline to a flat to a decline position to completely exhaust the extensors of the shoulder. Because the point of loading changes with each one of these body positions, it provides a more thorough workout. For instance, I will take the load down and help Terry support the weight where the maximum load is. His maximum load of the weight relative to gravity is when the arm is parallel to the surface of the earth. Now watch what happens to the angle at his shoulder as he changes positions on the ball. You can see that when he's in the decline position, the muscle is maximally loaded in a more shortened position than when he's in the incline position. Now you see the muscle lengthening relative to the point of maximal loading. So using the techniques that I've learned from Jerry Telly, we could have Terry just hold that weight there, and he could roll the ball forward, over the ball into extension, and he could roll the ball back into the incline position. So the weight never really moves, but what's happening is he's creating a constant load, changing the point of maximal loading as he goes through the exercise. And as you can see, it's a very, very challenging exercise. Now, using Hoist's multi-angle cable pulley system, we're able to perform the lat pullover exercise with cable resistance, which provides a much more constant form of resistance than the dumbbell does. Now, as you can see, Terry will start from the decline position, rolling all the way back, and he will work his way through as he fatigues from the decline to the flat to the incline position. All the way over, all the way. There you go. Good. Okay. Into the incline. Perform the prone row, place the ball under the lower chest region, hold a rigid torso, and then row as though you were on a prone row machine. It is very important to avoid looking up, as this will shorten the neck extensor muscles and can lead to headaches. Keep the head in line with the torso. Once you've accomplished this exercise with proficiency and feel comfortable kneeling on the ball, the exercise can be performed from a kneeling position. When you get really good and you want another challenge, you can try a row exercise. Down. To get off the ball, simply roll back onto your feet. You can perform a row exercise as well. To perform the rear delt raise, keep the arms locked straight, thumbs turned down, and horizontally abduct the arms till the shoulder blades squeeze together. As you're performing the exercise, focus your effort on the posterior deltoid. The rear delt raise can be performed from the flat bench position, and as your muscles fatigue, drop back into the inclined bench position for a complete deltoid and shoulder girdle workout. Always maintain a neutral alignment of the head with the spine. Do not look up, or it will overactivate your neck muscles and may lead to tension headache. Come forward to the flat bench and work it slow. The rear delt raise can be performed in an isometric yet dynamic fashion by holding the weights in a fixed position relative to the surface of the earth and moving the body. As you can see, Penny's body changes position, which changes the recruitment of the muscle fibers, but her hands actually never leave the position that the exercise begins or ends in. This is a very exhausting and very effective exercise for the posterior deltoid and shoulder girdle musculature. To perform the cross-body rear delt raise, turn the arm down so that the thumb is facing the ground. Keep the arm in direct perpendicular alignment with the long axis of the body. Raise the arm up, holding the body facing down. Keeping the thumb facing toward the ground. As you fatigue, change your torso position slightly, rolling upward just a little bit, and keep the exercise going all the way up in the air and down slow, and then all the way up. Now, an advanced level of the exercise is to hold the weight fixed in one plane of motion and move the body so that the arm does not move. So the arm stays there and the body comes back and down, and back and down. That will completely exhaust the posterior deltoid and shoulder girdle musculature. Terry will now demonstrate how the triple cross system can be used to perform all the cross-body deltoid raises we just showed you with dumbbells. The flying circle is a modification of the rear delt raise, which also works the entire shoulder girdle musculature or the shoulder fixator musculature. To perform the exercise, raise the weights up in front of you with the thumbs up, holding the arms straight. As you pass 90 degrees of abduction, or the point where your arms are straight up from your body, turn your hands over, bring them straight down beside your body. From there, straight up in front of the body, over, and turn them around as they come to perpendicular to the long axis of the body. Chin down, always keep the chin tucked. Head down in line with the spine. And rotate, and back. And forward. Big arms straight out to the side. And down, and back. And if you can't find an exercise that'll work your shoulders, then try this. Staying on top of the ball is hard enough. So you're not only getting a shoulder workout, but you're activating all the stabilizer muscles in your body. When you got that head in the right position, it even activates the flexors of the neck. To perform the Arnold press, start with the elbows flexed and the weights together, and as you extend the arms up overhead, internally rotate the arms, bringing the dumbbells together at the top. And then simply reverse the process, touching the weights together at the bottom, always keeping a good upright posture. The military press can be performed from the Swiss ball in a seated position, seated with one leg, bilateral arm action, single arm action, or from a multiple variation in the kneeling position. When you're ready, you can perform the exercise with one dumbbell, which is much more challenging because it pulls the body off the center line because it creates a lateral force on the body. Once you progress past seated with two legs and one dumbbell, you can go to seated one leg with the dumbbell. To perform the Swiss ball military press, roll forward on the ball, getting your chest under the bar, maintaining a good high chest position, holding the arch in the low back, picking the bar up out of the rack, and slightly rolling back on the ball so that you have a good weight distribution between your behind and your feet. From here, perform the military press exercise. When you have achieved proficiency at the exercise and you're ready for more of a balance challenge, you can attempt the exercise with one foot off the ground. Make sure you have a spotter nearby. Switch. Now, to rack the bar, bring the bar to the bottom position, hold the chest up, keep the arch in the back, and carefully distribute your weight more towards your feet and hit the rack with the bar and lower it into the hooks.